Your scapula and humerus start to move together, and they move in a special rhythm. For every 2 degrees of humeral elevation, your scapula upwardly rotates 1 degree. You might have heard this 2-to-1 ratio in teacher training, and then just zoned out because it started to sound too much like geometry. Stick around for the last part of this episode, where we turn that 2-to-1 ratio into something practical, something you can use without pulling out a protractor and having your client look alarmed.
So I think one that is really helpful, since our clients can't see their scapula, I think that touch cues can be really helpful to just give them some of that feedback. Like I've often had people that literally don't even know where they are, like where are my scapula?
Totally.
Yeah. And so it's even more difficult even to feel them, even when they know where they are. So I do find touch cues really helpful, and can even just reinforce where their scapula are moving and how they're moving.
Mm-hmm.
But, as always, you might have someone who's not comfortable with touch or doesn't respond well to that type of feedback. So another thing that might be helpful is, let's say, for example, their scapula just are a little bit stuck, or they're not moving very well, or it just feels like there's a lot of tension around that area. So we could maybe do a release of some of those muscles that attach to the scapula, maybe with a pinky ball or some other type of, targeted release ball. One example would be to use maybe along the medial border of the scapula, if the rhomboids or middle traps are a little tight, or up towards the superior part of that medial angle as well with the levator scapula.
And, going back to your point, Talise, where sometimes someone might not be comfortable with touch. And so you could have your client do a self-assessment. And that's what I want us to do and for our listeners to join us in next.